Good morning, Nicole. I can't believe it's already April. We're in the spring season. Let's get talking about our monthly mortgage and market update. And I really want to just dive into the fact of interest rates. I know that we always talk about every month that with COVID, ending, quote unquote, we just heard that mask mandates are coming off airplanes, or they did come off airplanes, public transportation, stuff like that. The world's really getting back to normal somewhat. And with that said, we've been forecasting that interest rates are going to be going up, and they have been going up, especially since the last time that we talked a month ago. So, from your expertise, what does this mean for buyers and sellers out there? What are you hearing out there? What are you hearing from the Fed? What does the summer look like in your expertise?
Yeah, so the interest rates have been going up since the beginning of January, right? On this
Mhm.
whole spark about the Fed doing quantitative tightening. Well, they haven't even started quantitative tightening yet. There's this expectation that they will do that and do it soon and do it in a big way. And all of that expectations move markets. Reality just confirms the expectations. So we're already starting to move. The 10-year is up and it's almost hitting 2%. That is a really big marker. Even where it is now, you would expect interest rates would be high. They'd be 4.5, maybe. They're above that. They're at 5. So we're seeing interest rates. The average 30-year fixed interest rate is 5. Based on what the Fed is going to do as far as raising the Fed rate and quantitative tightening, we expect the Fed rate to be somewhere around 3.25. Originally, they said it would be 2% by the end of this year, 3% by the end of next year. And that's the Fed rate, not the 30-year fixed. That's simply the rate that the Fed loans to banks. Banks then turn around to loan to other banks, and then they do personal loans with that, or high balance loans with that, consumer loans with that. So those kinds of interest rate increases at the Fed level are going to ripple through to the 10-year Treasury and then the 30-year fixed. So right now we're sitting at around 5. If what happens comes true, we could see 5.5, 5.75, maybe topping out at around 6. Of course, my crystal ball broke a long time ago, but
Right.
based on estimations, if we see it, and at some point it will come back down, depending on if the Fed works so quickly that it pushes us into an economic slowdown and a recession. And history tells us that recessions typically see slightly lower interest rates.
Right. And that's something that I'm really preaching to my buyers is they're already dealing with the sticker shock over here of the housing prices out there. But I have to remind them, hey, we need to look at interest rates over here, because that also is really factoring into determining what we can offer on a property. And because it obviously it boils down to your monthly mortgage payment, can you afford that at the end of the day? So two big headlines just came out this week regarding the Colorado and specifically Denver housing market. And I hate to say the big bad headlines, but Denver Metro made a list of the top 5 most unaffordable places to live behind Miami, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, etc. So it's like, wow, already like buyers are dealing with that. And now the Colorado Association of Realtors is coming out saying that by Memorial Day, they're projecting the single family home prices in Denver could reach an average of $1 million. Again, this is just a projection. This is not definite going to happen, but that's really tough news to deal with because that's about a month away. I can't believe Memorial Day is almost a month away, but what are you hearing from your buyers on your end? Are they still being frustrated, or kind of what are you getting from buyers on your end?
So we're seeing some of that, right? And there's some buyers that are having to drop out, that can't continue to compete at these
Mhm.
rising interest rates and rising home prices. Now, having said that, I don't want to be flippant about this,
Right.
but if we're the 5th most expensive, there's 4 more expensive places to live that are moving here. And that's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing this migration due to affordability, where people are coming from California and Chicago and Boston and the East Coast. And some Colorado or Denver people are having to look at alternatives: Kansas City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Salt Lake City. So there is movement, especially in an economy right now where you can really work from anywhere with most jobs. Now, there are people that still want to continue to live in Denver, and I want them to continue to live in Denver, and I
Yes,
want them to
I do
buy
too.
because that's where the wealth opportunities are. I would say that the sooner you get in, the better. There are so many forces that are driving into high purchase prices or higher home values. Interest rates isn't going to slow down the market enough to top over those high prices and drop them down lower. They're just going to go up at a slower pace. There's still enough between inventory, builders not being able to keep up, so much liquidity, so low inventory, and I could go on. All of those things. Plus, if we do head into a recession, now remember, nobody can tell you with absolute certainty, if we do head into a recession and interest rates do drop, what's going to happen? Buyers are going to buy on the dip. It's going to create another demand push. So this is not something you want to be behind. This is something that you want to be in front of as home prices continue to go up, could even go up with an extreme. If that happens, you can always refinance if and when interest rates go down.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that, because 5%, while it's not the 3% we were used to during COVID, it's still not that bad. It's not the 16% that it was in the 80s. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about, well, Marybeth, it's spring. Well, Nicole, it's spring. It, you know, inventory is going to pop up. And I actually just pulled some numbers this morning. So under $1 million in the city of Denver, there are only 167 active single family homes in the city of Denver. That's not too far off from when we were pulling numbers months ago. And for that same statistic, and I was pulling numbers at 130, 132. Now, with that said, it is Wednesday. We're filming this on a Wednesday. So there will be more, you know, homes coming on the market tomorrow and Friday to get ready for the weekend. But the inventory is not going up. I mean, yes, it's going up, but not as fast to make this bubble of prices then go down. So the buyers really needed to take that into consideration. And obviously, if a home does come on the market that they do like, we need to jump on it as soon as possible so they can lock in an interest rate that is comfortable for them, and hopefully a home price that's comfortable for them, which is tough, but
it is tough. But it is worth staying out there and trying to find that opportunity. I mean, we had over 16,000 homes for sale when we hit the bubble. I mean, to now have in the hundreds, or if you look at the report, just over 2,000, we still have to remember we have 3.3 million people that live in the Denver metro. We have 1.4 million households. And I had just read a report that last month was one of the biggest, one of the biggest reverse mortgage months. So
wow.
those baby boomers are not going to turn around and sell their homes. We're not going to see a massive amount of inventory come online. Right. They're simply aging in place. And so that just continues to tell you that people that are rate locked in, or people that are aging in place, or people that are turning those primaries into investments are going to continue to put pressure on inventory. So if we do get a little pickup for spring, that's incredible and awesome, and take advantage of it. But don't let it disturb you or feel like things are going to get rocked.
I know, we just got to keep riding this train. Okay.
Yes. And get on, like get on the train.
Yes. Yes. Not get off, get on the train.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's catch up next month for sure. We'll talk more about the market and what's going on with interest rates then. But for now, happy April, and I will see you next month.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye-bye.